Anybody there? Uh-oh. How about now? Any better? Duncan, 1900 Homestead, Elegant Homestead, Poor Boy Homestead, Bandana Grandma, Allie Oakley. Who am I missing? Just the Other Life, Just in Time Prepping, Geeky Gardens, Kinfolk Farm of Georgia, Mountain Life Montana, Weber Homestead. Lone Star Living. Well, hello, hello, hello. Jerome Bee Farm and Homestead. Howdy, folks. Well, Providence Farmstead. Lanessa's Life? Not sure. Lanessa or Lanisa? Hello? Patty Gilbert. Lanice. So how is everyone doing? No, everybody must be doing absolutely fabulous because nobody sent me an email this week asking any questions. So I don't have any subject matter for tonight, but I did want to come in and just say hi to everybody. Kinfolk Farm of Georgia. So what would you like to talk about? I'd like to keep it somewhat in the tech arena. You want to talk about live streaming? You want to talk about...
Bandana sent you one. She's right.
Wait a minute.
You answered.
Well, yeah, I answered you, I thought. So, okay, and I remember you were having some issues getting your banner correct, and I did my best to kind of explain it, which I was not obviously the best at doing. So, did you make any progress on it? Let me ask you that, Susie. McClendon Homestead, hello to you. Ravens Nature Family Farm. So Bandana Grandma sent me an email. Her banner on her page, I don't want to say it, was incorrect. There was some incorrect sizing. It couldn't be viewed right across various devices. And she was having an issue with getting the... okay, we'll see. I answered her. She just hasn't had the opportunity to try it yet, so I'm back to, okay, I'm done. Anyway, no, she had the sizing incorrect. Let me grab this here. All right, and I'm going to bring this over onto the screen. So this is Bandana's page. And as you can...
Little and Light was also having an issue sizing.
Okay. And so this is what she currently has, and we pulled it up last Thursday night. Wasn't it Thursday?
Yeah.
And I mentioned to her, I said, there's an obvious issue here. And the sizing, to get it right for the sizing is a little bit on the strange side. I don't know if this will work or not, but we're going to give it a shot here. And then Grandma. It sure did. Okay, so this is, and I'm just going to open this with, I use paint.net. That's a free program that everybody can use. Doesn't cost anything. This is one of the 3 images that was created by YouTube when she uploaded her banner background. So that's one image. And this is the image that you just saw earlier on my screen. And this is the third image. So what happens when, because the desire is to clearly show across all devices, including TV sets, desktop computers, laptop computers, tablets, phones, game sets, any place where YouTube can be watched, well, they all have different resolutions. And you can only do so much with a picture as far as stretching it and fitting it to all these different configurations. So YouTube, and there's other websites do this same thing. But YouTube takes your uploaded picture that you create, and they actually make 3 files out of it. Depending upon the device that's viewing the web page, one of these 3 pictures is being used. Now, they recommend that you upload, and of course you can only upload 1 picture, but they have recommended sizes to do that, and they recommend the big full-size picture here. The problem is there's only a certain part of this that's going to be seen on a desktop or on a phone or on a tablet. So they have, let me see if I can go grab it here. If I can remember where I have it. Okay, so they have created this template that's available for you to download and utilize this to determine if your banner is going to be viewed properly. So if you notice the largest gray area, the large gray area, that has a resolution that's 2560 by 1440 pixels. That should be representation of this particular piece of artwork that she has. This piece of artwork here should be the representation of the maximum desktop, which is 2560 by 423. This one, this is where it starts getting really a little bit funny. This is what's going to be seen on a phone or on a tablet. And the problem with this one is, depending upon the phone or tablet size, it could incorporate this whole medium gray area, but where they have for this center part, they actually are showing you 4 different sizes. 1, 2, 3, 4 different sizes here. And they're saying to be absolutely safe for your text and your logo on your banner, it needs to fit in this darkest area here, which is a 1546 by 423 pixel picture. Now, the interesting part is that is the same height for everything through the center here. So no matter what you have on your picture outside of this area on a phone is not going to be seen. It's just gone, doesn't exist. Because of the various devices being a tablet and various sizes of desktop monitors and different resolutions with desktop monitors, the 1080p, the 720p, the 4K, that's going to depend on that's what's going to depend on this other width here. So they're showing a maximum width of 25, I believe it's 2560, but by 423. So as long as you are creating a picture or a picture that everything you want is in this area, this 1546 by 423, you could just take that and put it on a plain colored background and it would be fine.
She said she got that far, but didn't know how to actually get a picture to fit in there. When I used the pixels they suggested, it said too small.
Okay. The picture you want to upload should be 2560 by 1440. That's the size picture you want to upload. Matter of fact, they'll say there's a minimum size and a maximum size. But that's what, I have this in 3 layers here. But that's what, where was I at? I lost myself. I got confused. Susie, you did it to me. All right, everything within this is the area that's going to be seen, but the picture that you need to upload should be 2560 by 1440. Let's just kind of confirm that. YouTube banner size. All right, this particular page is not YouTube, but the numbers are here. According to YouTube, the best channel art size is 2560 by 1440 pixels. But as they're saying, there's other dimensions to keep in mind. This just happened to come up first. So they're saying the minimum file dimensions are 20. Get rid of that. Minimum file dimensions are 2048 by 1152. Minimum safe area for text and logos is 1546 by 423. With larger images possibly being crossed on certain devices or displays. Maximum width 2560 by 423, meaning that the safe zone is always visible despite the size of the screen. And they're also saying a maximum file size. File sizes can be smaller. So the maximum file size, here's the two that you need to be made aware of. Maximum file size, that's the actual size of the file. That's not the pixels of the unit, that's the actual physical file size on a hard drive. And JPEG pictures take up less than PNG. So you can adjust accordingly. The actual resolution of the picture should be 2560 by 1440. So that's the size picture you want with a maximum file size of 4 megabits. So the 2560 by 1440 size ensures your channel art will fit properly on a TV screen. I used to think, who watches YouTube on television?
That was years ago.
but when we were at Red Dutch's farm, Mark watches it on TV. He sits back in the living room and cranks it up on the TV because he's got a smart television, and that's how he watches his YouTube.
Mark watch Montana. I do.
Okay. So because that's
Morgan. It's the only thing he watches on TV.
so that's the reason to have that big picture. So let's go back to the editor here. And let's just see what this is. And see, this image is actually too small. It's a 2120 by 1192. It just is just incorrect. But I see here that she has, how do I want to do this? Let's do this. The maximum height is 423. So I'm going to resize this to a height of 423. Now the problem is that's only going to make it 752 pixels wide by keeping the current aspect ratio, but that's okay for now. All right, so this is now the right height. It's 423 pixels in height. But I want this image to, sorry, I don't have a notepad here. So this is 752 by 423. So this will definitely fit because the minimum safe area is 1546 by 423. So it's only half that size. It's only going to use up half that. But I can use this. It'll just have a lot of extra white area.
Mark from Hamiltonville Farmers asked me, have you mentioned Photo P website?
I have not mentioned Photopea website. There are tons of different websites out there that will help you to create YouTube banners, various channel art, edit pictures, all kinds of stuff. The problem that I have with that, number one, that's being done remotely. I just prefer to do it locally. That's my thing. And there are free tools you can do this locally. Now, if I want to take this and show this entire image here, I need to create a canvas that's just full dimension, 2560 by 1440. So we'll come back in here and I'm going to say, make the canvas size, and I'm going to say by absolute size, I'm not going to change aspect ratio, and I'm going to say 2560 by 1440. And I'm going to want to center this picture right in the middle. In other words, what's currently here, I'm going to want to center it right in the middle. I say okay. And you can see that this is quite small on this picture, because here's the overall size of the picture. Let me do this. To make it show up a little bit better. Let me go back one here. do the yeah, we'll just, I think this is good enough that you can get the idea what we're trying to represent here. So the actual black area here is the size of the image that would be uploaded, provided it's small enough in a file size. That would show that entire thing here that she has as a picture. It would display it perfectly, right square in the middle of the page or of the banner. The problem is, let me take and let me see if I can. I'll just make this a little bit transparent so I can easily show you exactly what's happening here. If you notice, the text and logo safe area right here in the center, that is the same height as the image that we created. The outside size is the same image as what it is for a television. And by doing this, you can see that this is going to be absolutely 100% centered on a device that you're watching the YouTube.
Can Daryl grab the ruler and drag lines down to outline the picture or to say in text?
Can I,
That's what Mark Hamilton built.
can I do what?
Grab a ruler and drag lines down to the picture.
Well, the problem is you might have a problem seeing that because we're actually displaying the screen here and not from a webcam. But I think maybe you kind of get the idea here. So you can actually make a picture that's up to 1,546 pixels wide and have it fit in this dark area of the template. And that will show on all devices. Where it starts getting a little funny is once it gets past this dimension, this solid dark dimension, it's going to vary on various devices. And it's just going to constantly cut off a little more and a little more and a little more. Depending upon which image is used. So the desktop max and desktop minimum, that's the biggest ones. Because it adjusts automatically based upon your screen resolution on your monitor, this much on each side. That's So pixel wise, that's about 350 pixels on each side that it can actually shrink into. So if you can have a picture or a background, an infinite image that you can just continue to shrink down and have it still look good. In other words, you don't really have text, it's got a design on it or something that continuously shrinks down. That's the best kind of background you can use for something like this. But once you put, and you could do this. You could actually put text up here knowing it is never going to show on anything but a TV set. And I may do that sometime just to say, just maybe to kind of mess with people or something. I may take one of our banners and I may put text up in this area that I know the only place it's going to be seen is on a TV set, and I may go, for those of you watching on a TV, be sure to comment. They're the only ones going to see it. Now, whether or not they comment, I don't know, but just one of those fun thoughts. So let me get back to okay. So, Susie, did that help you to understand it? While I was doing all that, I have absolutely no idea what was being said in the chat.
Well, I have another, Autumn Oaks Farm gave us $5, so I should thank you.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Appreciate that very much.
And we have a question here, if you're done with, banner art.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna refer back to Susie on this. Bandana, does that pretty much answer your question? I that's kind of what I tried to type anyway, but I know it's easier to see it. Okay, and there's lots of different editing programs. So they're all going to work similar. It's just a matter of learning what programs you have. And I know that you have have at least one iPad. I don't know if that's what you're editing on or not. I do not use anything Apple, Mac to do any editing, to do anything.
The phone.
Well, the phone, we just do movies with it. I don't edit with it.
Okay, so you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, Crystal Creek Farm. Maybe y'all can help me. When I try to go live on her laptop, I click on the camera icon, click on Go Live. A black box pops up for me to type little privacy and schedule time, but nothing else.
Okay.
So she clicks on the
All right. Let me.
on the camera icon to go live. Okay, I'm doing that right now.
Well, be careful there because we are live.
Going, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we are live. So what I'm going to do here. And let me me get this set up here.
Well, I can sign into a different account and try it.
Well, yeah, but they can't see what you're doing.
True.
So that's what I'm gonna. I got Smudge signed in over here. I just got to get this.
Right, Susie.
All right, let's see if we can. Bring this over. Okay, so what I have here, what I thought I had here, but I don't have, we will have shortly. Okay. So I have Smudge's account on the screen here. So I'm signed into YouTube here as Smudge, and let me get that phone number off because I don't have that activated. Had not planned on having this this screen up here. Okay. So this is Smudge's account, and what you are saying is you're going up and you're clicking the little camera, and you're saying go live. I want you all to know this is absolutely the first time I've even looked at this. So the first thing it's asking me, it says Studio YouTube wants to use my microphone and my camera. So I'm going to
I
say,
don't even think she gets that far.
oh, you don't think you even get that far? Okay. Well, at this point, what you do then is you create a title. You decide if it's going to be public or private or schedule it for later, more options. You click next, and it's a matter of filling out the
No,
things
she
that go on.
She doesn't get that far.
So you don't get that far. All right, let's do this
Let me scroll back up.
because there are a couple prerequisites that you have to have here. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go into YouTube Studio.
Clicks on the camera to go live. A black box pops up for me to type title, privacy, and schedule, but nothing else, and that's it. Can't do anything.
Okay.
It will have that box, but then she has to finish typing here.
And I'm going to go into the old Creators Studio.
And she's already been verified.
Well, and this is where I'm heading with this, just to make sure that you can do that. So on your channel, and it's been a while since I've done this, status and features for live streaming, it is enabled for Smudge. Did you know Smudge was able to live stream?
Scary.
It is scary.
Don't tell him.
Don't tell him. All right. So that is number one. You have to have this enabled to live stream. It is possible, and who am I talking to? Crystal Creek?
Crystal Creek. Uh-huh.
Okay. It is possible. Tell me what browser you're using. Are you using Firefox? Are you using Chrome? Are you using Microsoft's Opera?
Oprah?
If it's a Mac.
Oh.
If it's a Mac.
Chrome.
Okay. Do you have Firefox installed on your laptop? Guessing laptop.
Yes, laptop.
Okay. Try it with Firefox. And the reason I say that is because Chrome is noted to sometimes you make minor changes. You don't even realize you're making changes in how it.
I had to do that last month, remember?
Yes.
I had to go into Firefox
Yeah.
instead.
Yeah. Sherry had to do that for something. I don't remember what it was.
What it was.
But we wound up resetting Chrome 100% on her computer, and then everything was fine. But to test that theory, I would certainly just utilize Firefox first if it works. The Osmo Action is a great little camera. So try it with Firefox. If it works with Firefox, then you can reset Chrome. And the way you do that is you go, and I have that up here on the screen, you go into Settings. Maybe, although I'm not seeing it on the screen. Why am I not seeing it on the screen? That's interesting. Okay, well, I'm actually working on a different computer here. So let me see. That's very odd. Okay. For whatever reason, I think I see why. We shall try to get it. And I may have to just, because it looks like I'm going to have to reboot this other laptop, because I'm not able to show you a second window on a window. And it could be it's just out of horsepower.
And she went live last week without a problem.
Well, and
Go figure. YouTube.
no, I'm betting, I would be willing to bet, especially since you've said that now, that you'll find it's in Chrome. Let me think if I have a different way I can do this. Okay, yeah, let me do this. Okay. With Chrome up, there are three little dots up in the upper right-hand corner underneath the X where you close the browser. It says Customize and Control Google Chrome. So you click on that, opens up a drop-down window, and go down to Settings. And with Settings, just scroll all the way down and click on Advanced at the bottom of the screen. And again, continue all the way down. At the last one on the very bottom, it says Reset and Cleanup. Well, I'm not going to worry about the cleanup right now, but restore settings to their original defaults. That's the one you want to use. This will not lose. Google Chrome can cache passwords and things like that. This will not eliminate that, but it will take all of your other settings and put them back to defaults. So if, for example, you have been on a website that wants you to use Adobe Flash, and you said, okay, anytime I'm on this website, go ahead and use it. Well, that's a setting that you've modified without thinking about it, because you just said, yeah, I want to use it. I want to see what this website has. So you've changed the setting. This will go back and set everything to original, and you should find that it would work just fine. And you are certainly not the first person.
She's about to try that.
Well, that would be my recommendation. But first, before you do that, I would test it with Firefox.
Give me 5 minutes.
Okay. So, any other questions? If memory is correct, she was asking about how people grow channel. A little bit of water, and fertilizer, moderation.
Yeah, there's enough bull going around here, that's for sure.
Hamiltonville Farm, thank you for stopping by. You have a wonderful evening. I wonder if I should do a video on that. How to grow your channel, and have a watering can.
I think that would be a yes. I think you need to, but don't say too much so it's not stolen. You may want to mention about Thursday.
Okay. Yes.
Some of them are going to be here at 5 p.m.
Okay. Yeah. Let's discuss Thursday. As you know, we've done a support thing that starts at 5 o'clock our time in the afternoon. And what
Naturally NC. Yes, you should.
and what many of you are not aware is I sometimes drive some Amish around for their work. It's a little bit of extra money for me, and that helps us to fund our trips to go to these various meetups and picnics and events that the community has. And anyway, I've been asked to.
Amen, Joe.
I have been asked to drive the an Amish crew to work on Thursday. Usually it's just a morning thing or something, but he said this would be an all-day thing, and I probably will not be back till like 6 o'clock, he said. Could be
That's the thing
later.
where you drive them and then you sit in your truck for 8 hours not doing anything.
Yeah.
In a car. He takes his truck. He has a 4x4. It's Firefly. And he schleps the Amish trailer with all their equipment.
So anyway, they called
That's true,
they,
John.
they called earlier today, and it's kind of interesting. Um, the 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 fellows I deal with truly are Amish. They're not Mennonite,
They did our roof
and that's how I met them.
in a day. The roof on our house and the roof on our detached garage. And the ones that did it looked like they were 14 years old.
I really don't know how old they are,
I've
but
never seen young men, they're probably in their early 20s. I've never seen young men work so hard. I mean, even the quote unquote English work so hard as these folks did that day. Sabrina, you take care, sweetheart. Love you more.
but because they're Amish, they have no electricity or anything, and you ask about phones. Well, he's allowed to have a phone
Get this, folks.
for business purposes. He can't. It's not for pleasure. It's for business purposes only. It's a way to make money, and he cannot have the phone in their house. So, when I take him back home at night, we stop at the end of his driveway, and he jumps out of the truck and puts the phone in the mailbox. And he jumps back in the truck, and I drive him up to the house. It's a long lane. And then in the morning, if I pick him up, I drive up the house, pick him up, stop at the end of the driveway. He jumps out, grabs the phone out of the mailbox, plugs it in the cigarette lighter in the truck, and we're off to the races. So it's kind of interesting. They have he has a flatbed trailer. He also has 2 enclosed trailers, tool trailers, and I just back up to whatever one he wants to take, and they hook it up, plug it in, we're off to the races. Away we go.
Yeah, a lot of them do up here also, Brenda. Like the communities, they have
Yes.
they have a community phone, but I think because he has his own business, that's why he can do this.
Yeah.
That's why they allow him.
There's and I've learned in doing this for them. I've learned a little bit more about them. There is an Amish fellow that runs a lumber yard. It's his business. It's a lumber yard. This is not a mill. This is like a Lowe's, just for wards, a building center. And there's minimal electricity there. There is an indoor bathroom that the Amish don't use. He has a porta pot outside that the Amish use, but he has an indoor bathroom there for the public if they come in and need to use facilities. If I pick them up in the morning at 6 o'clock in the morning, a lot of times the first place they go is to the lumber yard. Well, the lumber yard's not open. Well, that doesn't matter to these folks. You just drive in there anyway, and you just stop, and they go running off into the buildings. Apparently, keys were an afterthought. I don't think there's any locks on the doors. And they just go and load up the trailer, and so it's just an entirely different lifestyle. It's an entirely different lifestyle, but it's also very interesting. Now he gets to talking, and if he's talking to me, he uses English well enough that I can understand it. But when he's talking to other folks, or the people he works with, and some of the other places that we've been, he's got, and I've asked him this, and it's a cross between a Dutch and High German that he speaks. And my grandparents were from Germany. So when I was very, very young, whenever Grandma and Grandpa wanted to talk and they didn't want me to know what they were saying, they would revert back to their High German.
Sounds like my grandma, but she did Yiddish.
And when
Did you know I knew some?
well, I mean, I thought I was gonna really impress.
You learned it in school.
Yeah, I thought I was.
It was a different German.
Yeah. I took a whole year of German. I didn't say anything to Grandma and Grandpa, but I had a whole year of German, and I thought, all right, I'm gonna impress them, because I could understand some of the things they said, not everything, but I could understand some of it. Some of it I probably should not have heard, but anyway, no, the German that I learned in school, they didn't even recognize. It wasn't the High German, or at least that's the explanation that I received.
My mother taught me French, so I figured I didn't have to learn a foreign language.
When I was stationed in Montana, there were some Hutterites that were of German culture. They lived like the Amish. Hutterites, Mennonites, Amish. I don't know if what you've seen on TV are actually true Amish. I know there was a show on a while back where they portrayed anyway an Amish family,
I think it's still on.
but I don't know.
Yeah. Firefly, you take care, dear.
I don't know how much of that is just for TV. They prefer not to have their picture taken.
Yep.
And I honor that. When they were here, we did not video them, work on the house, and
Helga, the famous TV cooking Helga.
oh yes,
She was on TV.
oh was she?
Yes. I have the video. I have it up here. One of these 20,000 tabs open. Yes.
All right. So was there any other
Yeah,
questions?
Mennonites. I know what you're talking about, John. Well, Hershey Factory is an Amish, Mari.
No,
Just thought I'd let you know.
no, there are quite.
Plus, that's like 8 hours from us. Yeah, there's quite a few that leave the Amish community.
Well, and I know that there's.
We have a big Mennonite community.
I know.
Amish and Mennonite community around us.
Yes, and it seems to be different. The Mennonites seem to be go on very different levels, and even the Amish, depending upon the actual community they're in, because as Andy told me, he was originally from a different county, and one of the reasons he moved,
More strict than
right. One of the reasons he moved here was he had more freedom to go out and make more money. But I'm going to guess him to be very early 30s, and his property was an 80-acre
Hey, Tim?
spread. I know that there's,
Yes.
it's a big house.
Exactly, Helga.
I think he's got 4 or 5 kids. I'm not sure. I don't know how many horses and equipment that's all horse driven, horse pulled. I know he's got some different buggies and things like this. And 1, 2, 3. I can think of 4 barns.
What you need to do Thursday is ask them if they have any vegetables to sell.
I already asked him
Do
that, and they did not have a good year either.
Oh, jeez. That's why
But
corn is so expensive.
I don't know where it's going with all this. Anyway, he just bought. He had an 80-acre place, and he just bought 150 acres, like 7 miles away. So
Hey, Linda.
he's going to be moving there. And folks, these folks do not go to a bank and get a loan. It's just not done that way. They pay cash. If they buy 150 acres of property, it's the green bills counted out on the table, and it's usually 20s.
God, if only. Hey, Mac is looking. How are ya?
All right. So anyway,
Well, Mari, when you finally get up to PA, you let me know, because we were going to be going to PA, but that's been changed, because that's the same week. That's the weekend of the meetup in Kentucky,
what is?
Mother Earth News Festival. It's
Oh,
the weekend of the meetup in Kentucky.
oh.
Yeah. Awesome.
And Helga, that could be that
Kat,
particular.
you take care. I'll pray for you, sweetheart. Let me know when you get out tomorrow, and then we can really talk about
That particular
how this is
area.
going to go for you.
I know that the ones here do not deal with banks, and it always surprised me that this guy carries a
That's true, Brenda.
steel briefcase with him, or aluminum briefcase, all the time. And I have seen him on more than one occasion, of course, like I say, because I've taken him to the lumber yards here and stuff like that. I have seen him shell out multi-thousands of dollars out of this briefcase that he just throws around like it's no big deal. And I've asked him, I said, aren't you worried about somebody taking? He says, no, you don't worry about that. He says, nobody knows this. You know it, but I'm not worried about you taking it. So,
Hey, the tinker's wife. Yeah, he knows where we live.
yeah.
He'll take our roof off.
All right. So it's been an hour. I hope you all picked up something on doing the banners. If you ever do have a question on that, send me an email. We'll get back with you and do our best to help you out.
McClendon's is on. Can one of you mods grab McClendon's link? They have a 1,000 subscriber giveaway going on tonight.
Well, better yet, just everybody go to McClendon's and say, Smudge sent us.
That's right. That four-legged creature that was yapping outside. Yeah, that's true. You think they were, Brenda. That's cool.
Joe, thanks so much for stopping by. Appreciate it very much.
So everyone have a wonderful Tuesday night. Wish us luck tomorrow with our 3-year-old grandson. Brenda, I think I will start a video. If it's decent out, we're going to sit outside and let him shuck some corn. Should be interesting. So everyone have a great weekend.
I didn't see anybody drop a link in there.
Brenda has it. I knew
Okay.
she would. Yeah.
Okay.
I knew they would.
All right.
Thank you, Brenda.
All right. So thanks so much for stopping by. We will, anyway, I know what I started to say. Thursday, we will, if we are able to be on at all, it will be late. We will not be on at 5 o'clock. So everyone have a great week. we will probably come on Thursday night, but it may not be till much later and just for a couple hours. So, everyone have a good time, great week.
See ya.
See you later. Bye bye.